2, 3, 4, and 1. Extend them if you want. You know, one of my favorite things to do to make improvisation sound more interesting and varied, because we all keep getting to that stage where we feel like we're playing the same thing all the time, is to just make sure that you're starting on different points in the bar. It sounds so simple. It's not as easy to feel and get good at as it may seem. So what I thought I'd do in this lesson is just take a simple phrase and put it on different beats and extend it differently, make it connect to the next chord and see what happens. And we'll see how many authentic sounds we can get from it. If we haven't met before, my name is Sean. I studied with Barry Harris for many years. I taught approximately 46,000 one-to-ones before sharing what I know on jazz skills for members. So come and see us there if you want to improve your playing. So I'm working with Take the A Train. And you know what I'm going to do? Very simple. I call this chromatic major. I'm focusing on this major third, and it's a chromatic descent. Now, I'm going to start it on the first beat of the bar and see how I connect to the D7. Now, when I have a D7 with a flat 5, there's the D7 scale. You can literally flat the 5, or you can think of it as a sharp 4 because we're not really playing the 4 anymore, I guess. And that is also the same, those people who know their minor scales, as the ascending melodic minor scale. That I've already talked about in another lesson, which we will link below somewhere. Okay, let's see what happens. Let me just play something and try to make that work. Here we go. Simple. So what do we have? We have chromatic major down a chord in the C major scale, equally spaced notes, surround note of that fifth of D7, even if it's a D7 flat 5, that's fine. Jump to the third, the 9 of D7, if you like. So they're chord notes, basically. So we got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. Notice it didn't finish on an on beat. That can also be quite nice. Okay, now let's try one that starts on the second beat. So that one I started on the second bar because I didn't want to have too long on that C major, so I started on that second bar. Let's see if I can do the same kind of thing. 3, 4, 1. Fine. So that one was 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. So again, we ended there on an and, which is quite nice. Let's try that again with the track. Fine. One more time. Okay. So really, I'm just taking the same stimulus and seeing where I can go with it. So for the one on the third beat of the bar, I think I'm going to start on the third of the first bar, just to give me a bit more time. Let's see where it goes. 2, 3. Fine, that's similar to one of the phrases I had before. So 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and down a chord. So we're joining components. This is one of the most important things to understand about improvisation. We're joining things like phrase-based stuff, my rules of third system. So I showed you chromatic major today. We're joining interval-based stuff like chords through a scale. So these are the chords through the scale of C, right? We use this one. And we're using things like joining material. That's a surround note, also known as an enclosure, before just jumping to a chord note of D7. Let me see if I can play either that exact phrase or something similar starting on the 3. Let's see. 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4 and. Which means by the time I got to the D7, 3 and 4 and, it was pushed, which also swings. So it's more like here on the 4 and. And when you do that, push the D7 chord to the 4 and as well. Whether or not you play the flat 5 in the improv doesn't really matter. I just took these chords from the head where it needs to be, because this is Take the A Train. 2, 3, 4, 1. So there's the flat 5, right, of D7. So if I do that in improv or not, it doesn't really matter. It becomes more up to me. If you're enjoying this, please give us a like, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, so you know when there's new content. And if you have something good to say, a positive comment really helps. And it helps YouTube to tell people this is a good video, they should go and see it. And if it's time to level up your improvisation or your jazz playing in general, come and see us on Jazz Skills. More about that at the end. Let's get back to the lesson. Now, we do need one on the 4th beat of the bar as well. Otherwise, it's not complete. So let's see what we're going to do about that. Again, the one on the 4th beat, I'd rather just start in this first bar, seeing as I've got the time, rather than just starting on 4 here and trying to join so quickly. Let's play and see what comes out. Fine. So we just had 1, 2, 3. 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Scale notes on that D7 that I told you about before. Remember that we sharp the 4 if we really want to outline that sharp 4 or flat 5 sound on Take the A Train. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So what are the components we've joined? We've got a rule of thirds, chromatic major down. Again, down a equally spaced chord, surround note or enclosure, up the scale that we would use with the D7. Components again. So practicing the components individually is great work, and then joining just 1 or 2 components, 2 or 3 components, see how you feel, and work on adding, 2, 3, 4 components. But know what you're doing in the phrase building work. And I think when people are learning to improvise, they think it's either full-blown free improvisation or nothing, and the only way they tend to practice is beginning to end, beginning to end, beginning to end all the time, and it doesn't give them the freedom that they need. And I'm showing you from an honest point of view first, where I have no idea what I'm going to play, and then I'm playing it and then showing it to you. But you can do more thought out compositional work when you're practicing. Okay, let's try that one on 4 again if I can still remember it. Here we go. 2, 3, 4 and 1. Extend them if you want. Of course, I'm just playing because it felt good. You can take these phrases, learn to extend them a bit, play out of them. In other words, play something fixed and something is improvised is a great way to practice improv. So for example, even if I just took the first rule of thirds chromatic major down on the first beat, I'll just put it here on the second bar and just practice getting out of it each time. To do this, I'm going to slow down a bit. Let's take it to 80%. Here we go. 3, 4, 1. Fine. Maybe next time I'll do something else. And if that's too quick for you, no problem. But do it with a metronome, do it with a track. You'll be amazed how much stronger you get. 3, 4, 1. So, when people say I practice the exercises, but it doesn't come into my playing, it's because of things like that. Imagine we're learning a language like English, Spanish, whatever. First, we're going to learn some words. Then we're going to put them in short phrases. Then we're going to put those in different combinations. So, for example, I'm going to the restaurant, the bar, the train station, the airport. That's how you learn to become stronger. And I believe the same is true with this. So I certainly approach this from the perspective of a language. I hope you enjoyed that and found something that you can use in your playing. If you really want to level up your playing, then come and see us on Jazz Skills, where the aim is not just to drown you in more and more information, but to meet you where you are, plug those gaps, get you skilled with the language and fluent with it so you can speak it confidently and fluently. We'll do that in my Developing Fluency course, where you learn all the common chord progressions, how to build them, fun practicing them with tracks, etc., clear tasks to do. Then we'll show you the main members area, where you'll learn about voicings and improvisation, accompanying, rhythm, Barry Harris, movements, and much, much more. Plus support from me, and we have a vibrant community to connect to as well. Hope to see you there. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.